I'm going to start off with the Arnos Vale Modern City. This is the black outline you see is 133 acres. It comprises of 62 acres within the perimeter of the old aerodrome, plus the additional land that you see captured by the black line and the black boundary and the airport perimeter. These are all government-owned properties, most of them, well, all of them, in fact, are government-owned properties, and they will all be considered as part of the Arnos Vale Modern City development. You see the hospital site at the top right-hand side, and that is a classic picture of what the hospital will look like. That would be the front entrance. This here is a concept design done by the architect who's in fact going to carry out the design for the modern city. It's a concept design. It's a point of departure. He was given some parameters to work with. Some of those parameters were that, of course, the Arnos Vale playing field, 1s and 2, number 1 and number 2, Sion Hill playing field, these could not be disturbed. The tennis court next door was optional. He chose to keep it. The hospital site was out of bounds because we already had a hospital going there. The E.T. Joshua terminal was also out of bounds, given that in previous visioning exercises that we had done, one of the main design strategies when you're doing a modern city is that you need to keep as much emotional connection with the modern city that you're designing as possible. And this was learned very much so in the case of Brasilia, the capital of Brazil, which was built in the middle of nowhere in the government's attempt to try and diversify and occupy the Amazon. But it lacked emotional content, and fantastic architecture, but it took decades and generations of persons living there to actually create the spirit of a city. And the lessons coming out of that, and even prior to that, was that you need to keep as much emotional content as possible within your development. Keeping the E.T. Joshua Airport, which everybody knows about, is one of those strategies. That's why it's kept. There is also the cigarette factory, which is privately owned, and we have to work around that. Some brief descriptions of what's happening here. So down here, you have a hotel and conference center. Over here, there's an overhead walkway going across the runway. Down on the left, this side here, and on this side here, we have live-working accommodation. What do I mean by that? It is accommodation above and commercial underneath. So these buildings will be between 2 and 3 stories high, coming down the main drag strip on either side. I call it the drag strip simply because drag racing goes on there now. So the idea is, in one of the problems we have in Kingstown is that after 4 o'clock, after everybody leaves, the town is dead. That's not how it used to be before, because Kingstown itself, I understand, back in the day had a lot of people living in it. So there was a lot of life provided after 4 and 5 o'clock. Now everybody bails out and goes to various residential suburbs. Here, the consultant is trying to retain that life within the city by providing living accommodation above and commercial retail beneath. Over here, we have high-end condominiums. Over here, we have cultural center, new cultural center. Over here is an aquatic center. And over here, there's some high-end villas. This area here is the old landfill, and this would be turned into a park. Alongside the river, there is going to use, as you'll soon see, there is going to be a walkway, pedestrian walkway, and cycling. And in the front, there is a boardwalk with protective boulders on the seaside. This is an architectural rendering where I showed you the overhead walkway. This is the overhead walkway here. This is what the architects estimates it would look like. Here is the main drag strip going down. You notice it has a lot of greenery, and that's because when you walk out there at midday, or anytime close to midday, anytime between, say, 10 and 2 or 10 and 3, it's extremely hot. It's an urban island, urban heat island, and therefore these trees are put inside here to cool the environment. And he has planned to put drainage down the center. Here is what his concept of what the improvements along the Warra Warra River would look like. It's, of course, we don't have aquamarine water running in it, but the idea here is you have protection, riverbank protection, and you have a pedestrian walkway, as I had indicated earlier. This is probably closer to what it might look like. This is obviously